Police have not yet released the identity of the second victim, but he is listed in critical but stable condition at Coney Island. New York City Transit and the Mets have teamed up for a new Take the Train campaign. So once you've had a bite to eat, you can head on over to the bar where you can enjoy a wonderful experience and maybe watch some sports. But if Italian is a little more your thing, boy, have I got the place for you. If you want to eat at one of Brooklyn's best-kept secrets, well, it's Palmyra's, located in Brooklyn Heights. And I'm here with the owner, Roger Desmond. So, Roger, tell me about this restaurant. What kind of restaurant is it?
This is your real classic Italian restaurant.
Want to experience a little bit of history? Well, it's just a bus ride away. I'm Amanda Perez, and I have that story.
I'm afraid to go to sleep. I'm afraid I won't wake up the next morning.
In July 2004, Ronald Rose's life was turned upside down. Diagnosed with MDS, he now goes to Sloan Kettering for monthly blood transfusions and waits for the bone marrow donor he so desperately needs to begin fighting this disease. It's been 50 years since the first air-conditioned city bus was introduced into service. It all began in the mid-1950s when General Motors and Fifth Avenue coach lines teamed up to develop Bus 3100, which revolutionized summertime bus travel in the city.
This was a demonstrator bus and was tested on the Fifth Avenue system for 2 years before Fifth Avenue actually purchased it.
What was so special about this one? Why was this one accepted and then purchased?
Basically, with the air conditioning units, the fluorescent lights, and the padded seating, and the new paint scheme they have outside the bus, made this bus very attractive to not only to the company, but to customers alike.
The 3100, which was the 51-passenger General Motors bus, also featured a push-type rear exit door. While General Motors developed a sturdy and comfortable vehicle, Bus 3100 was built specifically to handle this new air conditioning system.
The first thing that strikes people when they first look at this bus is the appearance. They see this huge fan assembly that really gives this bus its own identity, its own personality. The bus roof line had the evaporator and the condenser with fans. And when you look at the fans, you realize that what they're doing is they're drawing in clean, fresh, drawn air to go right over the condenser unit, which this bus, particularly 3100, was the forerunner. It paved the way for all vehicles, that is, transit vehicles, most important to us, okay, to have air conditioning.
So thanks to Bus 3100, we now all enjoy a cool and comfortable ride on all New York City Transit buses. So happy 50th anniversary, Bus 3100. I'm Amanda Perez at the Queens Village Depot for Transit News. Today, more than 200 years after the Revolutionary War, we'll be following General Washington's footsteps as we go on our very own personal tour with Mr. Martin Marr, Chief of Staff of the Parks Department.
So we're standing in the heart of Battle Pass in Prospect Park, which was essentially the British and the American center during the Battle of Brooklyn. On August 27th, 1776, the British had in Gravesend Bay in lower New York Harbor the largest fleet that had ever been assembled up until that time. They landed the night before on the coast of Gravesend Bay, which is now the southwest shore of Brooklyn, and they began a three-pronged march. And they had this area fairly well defended.
With the Hessians in front of him and Howe, Cornwallis, and Clinton surrounding him from behind, General Sullivan, a commander of the American forces, realized that he would have to split up his troops. After a full day of heavy fighting, the three prongs of the British advance converged at the Gowanus Old Stone House. Greatly outnumbered and flanked, General Sullivan surrendered and many men died. The Battle of Brooklyn, the largest battle of the Revolutionary War, was now over.
Yes, we're at the Old Stone House in J.J. Byrne Park, and it's a recreation of what was then the Cortelyou-Vecht House, was a Dutch farmhouse. And the Smallwood's 400 soldiers from Maryland were able to draw the British fire at this location and escape ultimately across the East River and into Manhattan, thus preserving the American Army and the American cause. So though the Battle of Brooklyn is thought of as a tactical defeat, it was a strategic victory for the American Army.
Over my right shoulder is the American flag flying over the Old Stone House. But here at the Gowanus Canal marks the very spot of General George Washington's greatest defeat. But the tide would soon turn in Washington's favor. Though the American forces faced many challenges, General Washington emerged as a star and went on to become a beloved president. Our next stop is to Francis Tavern, once owned by Washington's good friend Samuel Francis. Once known as the Queen's Head Tavern, it is the oldest building left in Manhattan, and today it serves as both a tavern and a museum. The tavern's long room is best known as the place where President Washington delivered his heartfelt farewell address to a group of 35 of his closest friends. Another historical destination is the Prison Ship Martyrs Memorial, located at Fort Greene Park. The crypt honors those who lost their lives after being captured and imprisoned by the British.
Patriots that are buried here are typically naval men and privateer crew. Privateers were private vessels that would interfere with British commerce and British shipping. These are really the first prisoners of wars. This is really the first tomb of the unknown soldiers here, and this is very hallowed ground. Were not for the efforts of these 11,000 men, we would not be in the free United States that we have now.
The Martyrs Memorial is living proof that those who sacrifice for our country will always be honored and remembered. This is Amanda Perez reporting for Transit News.